All right, everyone. Welcome to your final nine eviction ceremony. We all made it to the single digits. Congratulations on that, everybody. This week we saw Robert Toria come out to win HOH. And then with our 2319 power, Ingrid also became co-head of households. They both are responsible for nominating one person. Robert Toria nominated Crispy, and Grace was nominated by Ingrid. In the Power Veto competition, you guys had to build the tallest tower in Andy's Toy Tower Roundup, and Grace came out victorious, taking herself down, meaning Ingrid had to name a replacement nominee, and in this case, that was Rose. So now that we have a summary of the week, let's ask a couple questions. I will start with you, Andrew. I remember at the beginning of the season, a lot of people were talking about how 2319, this isn't going to go on forever. Like, this is just like a beginning of the season twist. Like, then it should go to normal Big Brother after. How much longer do we think the 2319 twist is going to be in play?
Did no one see my chat that I left? No.
What?
I have a chat on the Zoom. Can no one see
I
that?
see it. I see it.
I
Oh,
don't see it.
It says can't
Okay.
actually talk tonight. Does someone want to send me a question prompt in the prod chat that I can answer and then have someone narrate it?
okay. You can answer that question in your prod chat, and I will narrate it for you later. I will move on to
So-
something else. So
I can answer it. I can answer it. It's not too loud in here, right? Before I continue. Okay. In the best way possible. I mean, I feel like there's probably at least one advantage left from the 2319. It's the one that no one has claimed from a few rounds ago, which is pretty scary going into final eight. If there are other advantages that people have, then they've done a really good job at keeping those quiet. But the one that we all know for sure is still out there is the one that I think it was the one right before Ingrid's. So that's scary, but I mean, I do think that's starting to wrap up. My only fear is whatever that advantage is probably the OP power that I thought might happen pre-jury. And that would explain why someone might try to save it for final eight. Because if I remember correctly, I think there was another advantage in the game at some point that expired at final eight. So that's scary, but like, we kind of have to deal with what's thrown at us. I think we've done so well with it so far. It's been great having Robert and Victoria back, and the Ingrid twist was kind of fun-ish. But yeah, I don't know if I can take too many more of these after tonight, but we'll see.
Evan, I'm going to move on to you. Andrew talks about there still being some powers left in the game from the beginning. Do we have any thoughts on what those powers could be? Are we trying to pretend they don't exist? Do they exist? What's the tea on that?
I mean, I don't really know because I don't really think about it because there hasn't really been much lately besides the Ingrid getting co-HOH, but it is, there's definitely something out there. I don't know if I'm like too concerned about it, but I really have no idea. We've seen a variety of powers so far, so it really could be anything. And I don't know, nothing would really surprise me at this point.
Angela, as we go into this next round, this is the last round before our second and final live night. How important is this next round in setting things up for yourself to go into live night?
Pretty important. I mean, I have to think about, are the people that are going to be there at that live night gonna try to keep me around or try to get rid of me? So that's definitely something that I'm thinking about with who I move forward with, who's going to be more likely to keep me during that live night and who would be more likely to get rid of me.
So Molly, something I'm curious about is in the game, you have those players where like that person's not doing anything, that person's inactive, and then you have those people who they're winning all the competitions and they're winning this. Has it been like a clear divide of like these people don't care about the game and these people do, or do you think everybody's here in the running and wants to win?
I feel like everyone's here and wanting to win things. I mean, I feel like I definitely want to win things and I've been trying to win things. So I feel like everyone's here and wanting to win things, but I'm really sorry. I'm like not sober right now. So um I I think that we want to win though. So that's my thought right now.
The Robert half of Robert Toria. You and Victoria won HOH this round. It is, I believe, your first time coming into power since becoming Robert Toria. What was that like? Kind of not only having to be HOH with one person, but kind of with two.
Yeah, it was a balancing act because we had to. I mean, this stage in the game is difficult, right? Because there wasn't a ton of options to choose from, and it was a balancing act to make sure that the pick that we chose, Ingrid was cool with, and vice versa. And it was just a lot of factors had to go into it. It wasn't one easy decision. It wasn't one thing that made anything stood out. It was just trying to weigh, 12 different things and balancing them and ultimately hoping that you make the right decision that's going to propel you forward in the game. But I don't think, in my opinion, like just the relationship with everyone, there was no easy nomination. Like there was no one person that was like, oh, I don't really talk to them, so I can just throw them up there and not have to worry about it.
So I want to ask you, Rose. Rose, you have been thrown on the block twice, and it's been both times as a renom. What is that like for you? Is that like setting up some type of precedent? Do you think it's just cute little coinkydink? Like, what are you feeling with that?
Well, I hope it's not setting up a precedent. I mean, being nominated and especially being renommed is never fun because at least if you're an initial nom, you have the chance to play for a veto and take yourself down. And being renommed means you don't really get that option. So obviously, being renommed twice now, it sucks, but I mean that's the game. People have to do what they think is right for them. So yeah, I guess I just gotta try to stay off the block more or something.
And my last question goes to you, Crispy. Crispy, this week you were nominated by one HOH. Rose / Grace were nominated by another. Do you feel that these nominations are a statement? Are they two different sentences? Like how do we feel about the way nominations went this week coming from two different head of households?
It's definitely a statement. It's a statement because you had three people all conferring, and according to what Robert said, they had to make a decision on who they were fine with going up against each other. So clearly, Ingrid, Victoria, and Robert all felt fine with any sort of combination of me, Rose, and Grace being on the block. I think that does say a statement or make a statement, because if there wasn't a statement, there wouldn't need to be a need for a conversation to be had with all 50,000 head of households. It's definitely a statement.
All right. And with that, we will be getting into the vote. As a reminder, before we get to the vote, Crispy, if you are evicted tonight, Robert Toria will not be competing in next week's head of household. Rose, if you are evicted tonight, Robert Toria will be competing in next week's head of household. No matter who is evicted, Ingrid will be eligible to be head of household next round. Now, going into the vote, Robert Toria and Ingrid as head of households will not vote. Rose and Crispy, you also will not vote. To the rest of you, please send a vote to your project. We will give you guys until 8:19. That is 5 minutes.
Good luck, Christy.
Good luck, Rose. I love you.
I love you too.
All right, we do have all of the votes, so we are going to do results early. When I reveal the votes, the evicted house guests will have just a moment to say their goodbyes and leave. And by a vote of 5-0, Crispy, you have been evicted from the Big Brother house.
All right. I do have something I want to say. So this round obviously did not go the way I wanted it to. Being nominated against Rose and Grace, frankly, really sucked. And I'm trying to think to myself, why was I the nom? Why was it me? Like, what did I do wrong? And I was told it was because of how I interact with people on Zoom calls. So I had this inner conundrum of, shit, do I do something rude or mean? But no, I came into this game fully being myself. And I have never wanted to compromise myself and be somebody that I'm not. And someone that I'm not is a rude and mean person. I've always felt I treated everybody with respect. And I am saddened and disappointed that I felt that respect was not given back to me as soon as my back was against the wall and I was no longer of use to a lot of you. To the people that I told that I would have had their back, I would have. And to the people who really want to play this game and want to win, ghosting them and ignoring them when they're on their way out is really bad jury management. And if you, like, I'm on the jury, so try to treat me with a little bit of respect on my way out. And I really hope that none of you were made to feel the way that I was felt this round, because it really fucking sucked. I'm not going to be bitter. Whoever wins at the end, congratulations. I will be very nice about it and I will virtually shake your hand and move on and hopefully be friends once this game is done. But don't make people feel like they're this big, because that's how I felt this entire round. Thank you, production. I will leave.
All right. Thank you, Crispy. And congratulations to our